After World War II, most Americans began to spend their savings to make their lives easier. America also changed from manufacturing to service and technological jobs. The combination created a booming toy and video game industry. Jack Friedman was one of the successful entrepreneurs that captured this new trend. Friedman began working as a toy salesman and then a designer at Norman J. Lewis Associates in the 1960s. In the 1970s, he launched his first company, LJN, named after Lewis, the primary investor. The company is responsible for creating detailed wrestling action figures, E.T., and Michael Jackson dolls, and other toys associated with popular movie and TV shows. Friedman grew the company to $51 million in sales by 1983. MCA Universal acquired LJN, and Friedman moved to California in 1986. In 1990, Friedman soon left MCA to start his second company, THQ, which focused on designing video games based on popular movies such as Home Alone and Pinocchio for Nintendo and Sega. 2 years later, Friedman sold 46% of the company for a payday of $13 million. When THQ sales increased 70%. However, the rise occurred when video games began to change from toys, Friedman's territory, to high technical games. To gain capital, the company sold $6 million of stock. The main problem was THQ did not develop the games themselves. It contracted and paid out to other firms for development. Friedman took a pay cut of 11% in 1993, but he was still earning $850,000 per year. The next year, the company's loss was over $4 million. It could not make the switch to high tech and produce in-house games. Friedman left the company the following year to create the Jakks Pacific Company. Friedman planned to acquire some of the smaller toy companies while diplomatically joining with others. Friedman began by signing with the World Wrestling Federation in 1995 and purchased two other companies that allowed Jakks to expand into making die-cast cars and educational children's toys. Sales hit $42 million in 1997, which was a 250% increase from 1996. 3 years later, Jakks acquired Burks Corporation that made educational foam puzzles and mats. Burks came with licensing for Disney, Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers, and Children's Television Workshop. Another purchase was the Flying Colors Toys, which specialized in lunchboxes and play sets associated with Looney Tunes and Blue's Clues. Jakks sales reached $284 million by 2001. The company's success was due to the national business trend of streamlining labor costs and moving more towards globalization. Jakks had warehouses in Asia where it stored its products while keeping a small employment force in America. Friedman also removed departments that were not consistently profitable. Friedman developed Jakks Cares to give back to the community with the motto of Smile, Play, Succeed. The program has given over $50 million of toys, school supplies, and money endowments to underprivileged kids, demonstrating Wendell-Berry's view of businesses caring about society. The company saw the start of an economic downturn in 2001, reducing toy shelf space in stores. Jakks stock dropped 41%, but Friedman rallied his company back in 2006 with net sales of $765 million. Friedman owed the increase in growth to traditional toy lines, dolls, playsets, and action figures. In May 2010, Friedman died and was inducted into the Toy Industry Hall of Fame 4 years later. He is remembered for being the toy industry version of Walt Disney by producing some of America's beloved childhood toys.